Yes, people, welcome back to another video on Thai Sports, where today we are talking about Xavi Simons and his links to Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea are just not stopping, people. Chelsea want more before this window closes. And I think after the Club World Cup, they've probably got the hope in it right now that they're like, you know what? Why not try and push and try and see if we can sneak into this Premier League title race? We're coming off the back of a Club World Cup. Got Cole Palmer, Yao Pedro, Liam Delap. Estavio is coming in. Gittins is coming in. Chelsea are building this young core of squad of players, and they want to add to it. They want to add to it because it looks like Xavi Simons is the next one on their radar. From RB Leipzig, 22 years of age, obviously still young, still got the best years ahead of him, and a player that's got potential. And I'm talking potential where people were talking about him 2-3 years ago when he was at PSG, then he obviously is at loan at PSV. And I feel like within himself, he probably wants to test himself in the Premier League. He probably wants to leave, Leipzig now and play for Chelsea if that offer does arrive. And we're here to talk about whether it fits and whether it's a deal that Chelsea should carry on pursuing. Because my boy, big up Claudio, we were talking about it the other day and he was like, what do you think of Xavi Simons? And I was like, I think he's a good player. But when I've watched him, he's never like set me alight. I know he scored the great goal against England in the Euros, but he's never quite set me alight. I'm thinking, should he be better than what people made him out to be when they're talking about him and his prospects coming up? Or is it he's just at RB Leipzig at the moment? He's comfortable in his surroundings. He's ticking along nicely, but he needs that move to elevate his game. He needs to step up and get better players around him. And look, I know Leipzig and Brighton are different. But you see Yao Pedro, he's already gone to Chelsea, and you see what he's like with a few different players around him. He looks like at the moment he probably could hit the ground running, and he surprised a few people. But I think Yao Pedro's ability's always been there. It's whether he can now do it on a consistent basis. And I think with Xavi Simons, you've got a player there that can suit the formation. You've got a player there that's got the speed and intelligence to play in that number 10 role in them pockets. He can score, he can create. And Chelsea needs squad depth. And when I'm talking about squad depth, I'm on about quality squad depth, not bit part players which you're not really a fan of, which you're not really going to want to see play. And I think Xavi Simons, well, we're going to talk about it. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe because he is linked with a move to Chelsea. It looks like talks are ongoing at the moment. Florian Plettenberg, one of the German journalists, has said that Chelsea are underway to try and agree verbal terms before then launching an offer for the midfielder. And I think that's what the football sort of transfer window route is going down now. It's more, can you agree terms with the player? Then you'll make your bid, because there's no point making a bid for a player at a club, if the player didn't want to come anyway, or you're not going to agree terms. So I think a lot of clubs are going down the route of, right, what can we offer the player? Does that suit you? Do you agree with the terms? Okay, cool. We've got you nipped in the bud. If we agree a bid with the club, you'll come. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do with Xavi Simons right now. And I don't think with the way Chelsea are doing things, the way it's very calculated over 5, 6, 7, 8-year contracts, that'll be hard for them to get a deal done, especially with Xavi Simons, because I've got to be real with you. When it's the Bundesliga, they're not paying crazy wages at Leipzig. Chelsea can definitely match that. Chelsea would definitely be able to top that, in fact, and offer him obviously regular Champions League football, potentially challenging for trophies, a team full of 20 to 25-year-olds that are all on the way up. So it's good to be part of that engine room and that contingent, because obviously in the next 2-3 years, they're looking to challenge for the major honours. We've seen them already do it with the Club World Cup. So there's no reason why they ain't going to look to try and do it this season or next season. 100%. This is Chelsea, a team that want to win. So it does look like Xavi Simons could be the next one through the door at Chelsea. And I think it's really interesting, right? Because when I look at it, the first thing I'm going to look at is Chelsea's formation. Now, look, this is not the exact players and so forth on there. It's just the formation. So just look at the colours. And it's a 3-2, effectively a 3-2-4-1 was what I was trying to find. Because what I've seen with Chelsea is that Maresca is looking to play 3 at the back and bring in one of the fullbacks into midfield, allowing them to basically have 2 10s in that attack, in that formation. And at the moment, you could probably say the 2 best players for that in the yellow role, and I like how it's coloured in the yellow role, Caicedo and Lavia. He's played Reece James in there recently. I don't think Reece James is a fan of it personally, but at the moment, Reece James is playing there. But I think Lavia and Caicedo can really do that role as well because Caicedo plays as a right back and then can cut in and play as a midfielder essentially. And then that allows you to play the two inside forward roles, which one of them would be Cole Palmer. And what we've seen towards the back end of last season, where I think he was effective, if I'm totally honest, was Enzo Fernandez, making them sort of last-ditch runs into the box, getting on the end of things, headers, whether it was scoring goals. I think he was a threat when he was arriving late into the box. And I think Enzo Fernandez is a good player. And I'm not saying this is going to be the end of Enzo Fernandez. No, you want quality players. And Enzo Fernandez is on that way up. He's come out and said he's getting used to the Premier League, the physicality, the pace, and he's an Argentinian international, and he's got technical ability. So Enzo Fernandez suits that role perfectly alongside Cole Palmer. However, if you were to go and bring in someone like Xavi Simons, that role just inside of the left winger, that inside forward role, could be a perfect position for Xavi Simons to play in for Chelsea Football Club. Him and Cole Palmer there in them 10 roles could be massively effective. It could cause chaos for teams because you've got someone like Cole Palmer, who's over 6 foot, can dribble with the ball. He's a bit more physical, and obviously he's more, Premier League based. He's been in there 2-3 seasons now. He's established as a Premier League player. Then you've got someone like Xavi Simons, nimble, small, smaller than 5'9", good on the half turn, good acceleration, burst of speed, and also can score and create. So you could have 2 really good 10 players in that team. And it works because we've seen that formation work. It's not like Chelsea trying to do something new. We know that formation works for Chelsea. That is the facts. And I think now it's about getting the quality depth in and getting players that can really establish themselves in that formation. Not saying without too much coaching, but with the IQ to just slot in like a glove. I don't think Maresca's got too much time to say, right, I've got to really coach you into doing this. I think, Chelsea fans know he's been there a season now. They're going to expect to see better football, better fluidity, and players knowing their roles. So essentially, when you're going out and buying players, you want players to know what they're coming into. Do they fit the profile of the system? Like João Pedro has, playing as a number 9, a facilitator, not just an out-and-out 9, someone that can bring others into play. Gittins, a 1v1 direct winger, because Chelsea get themselves in a lot of 1v1 situations. Madueke, Pedro Neto, those type of wingers. That's why they've gone for that profile. So now when I look at it, and I just showed you that formation, Xavi Simons in that left sort of 10 role alongside Cole Palmer could definitely work. Because if you look at Xavi Simons, his heat map, where is he mainly based for Leipzig last season? That left sort of channel. That left there, linking up with the left winger or playing inside that sort of left channel there as basically a number 10, a creator. That's exactly the position that Maresca would probably want to use him in alongside Cole Palmer doing on the other side. Because Cole Palmer, we know, likes to cut in on his left foot, whips a great ball in, can also score great goals. But then Enzo Fernandez is on the other side. He lacks the pace and the acceleration of a Xavi Simons, but he gives you something different. But then Xavi Simons has the pace, has the acceleration to play 1v1, give and goes, 1-2s, technical ability on the half turn, a bit of acceleration, drive, and also has got that final third delivery in terms of getting goals and can create. So when you look at it, that is great depth in terms of Cole Palmer, João Pedro can play in there, Xavi Simons, and Enzo Fernandez. And this is why it is growing on me now. When I look at what Maresca's trying to do with that formation and the player he's now looking at targeting in terms of Xavi Simons, a lot of the, well, I don't know what to say. A lot of the needles are starting to be found in the haystack. There we go. There's a new one for you. But it's starting to make a lot more sense to me now, when originally I was a bit like, nah, I'll go for Eze. That's what I was thinking at first. I was like, do you know what? Go for Eze. They don't need Xavi Simons. And again, on top of it, when you look at his shots in the Bundesliga last season, a lot of them were coming inside the box, so getting on the end of things, just like I said, Enzo Fernandez was last season, getting inside that box and in and around that box. On target, off target, you can see he has quite a good ratio, actually. Scored some goals as well. Most of them inside the box, some outside the box. But he's contributing in the right areas that Chelsea would want him to be contributing in. 100%. I think this could be a signing that's very clever and could work better than I thought. And look, I'll be willing to give Xavi Simons a chance at Chelsea. I'm not saying it's the perfect solution and he's going to hit the ground running, but when I'm looking at the formation they may be looking to go down with the 2 10s, someone opposite Cole Palmer or next to him, should we say, I'm liking the profile because Xavi Simons is very technical as well. He's comfortable picking up the ball from a bit deeper. He's comfortable picking up the ball on the wing. He's comfortable in the final third. So he's a player that's not just nullified into playing one position. He's someone that is comfortable. Think of the Netherlands. They allow him to float. They allow him to get around the pitch and just basically kind of be himself. And last year in the Bundesliga, 25 games. Obviously, must have missed a few games through injury. That's at least 9 games there. 10 goals, 7 assists. That's 17 returns in 25 games. The year before that, 8 goals, 11 assists. That's 19 returns in 32 games. When you look at it, he's getting at least over 15 goal contributions in the season. Last year, 17 and only played 25. That's not a bad return because when you look at it for a midfielder in them sort of positions, you always aim for 10 goals, 10 assists. That's what you want, ideally. Sorry, my mic muted there. So ideally, when you look at it, Xavi Simons is getting 10 goals, 7 assists. So when you look at it, you're ideally looking at your midfielder getting, 10 goals, 10 assists. That's what you want from your midfielder. And Xavi Simons could definitely provide that for Chelsea if he was getting regular games. And we're talking about all competitions as well. In the league, you'd want that, but he's probably going to play in different competitions. You can rotate with Enzo Fernandez. But this is a signing that looks like it ticks quite a lot of boxes. I'll be very intrigued to see what you guys think. Is there another player that you'd prefer? Do you think the price is too expensive? You're probably looking at 60 million, something like that. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't read too much into it, but I'm guessing they'd want probably 60 million because for them, Sesko and Xavi Simons are probably their marquee players that they'll look to get money from and try and rebuild RB Leipzig. But I think this move is gettable. I think this move can be done. But I think when I look at the formation and what Maresca's trying to do and does Xavi Simons fit, it does. It's just whether he'll deliver for Chelsea and whether he can perform. Because I think he'll get opportunities because you've got João Felix and Nkunku leaving the football club. Madueke's already gone. So that's 3 players already that Chelsea are going to be seeing leave, and they're going to have to replace. Obviously, Estavio's coming in, Gittins coming in, so that's 2 of them there. João Pedro's coming in. But Gittins and Estavio, they're still young. You can't really rely on them every week. But Xavi Simons has a bit more experience, played in the Champions League, played for the Dutch side. So he gives them a bit more nous. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys. I'll be very intrigued to find out. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the Premier League next season. But this transfer window is not finished. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Slap a like. Please make sure you do. And subscribe if you're new.